So it's just me right now. I didn't want y'all waiting too long. My counter was already on 7 minutes. So I already know that music is atrocious. So making y'all sit for 7 minutes to listen to it is not, I'm not a sadist. So um, I don't know how many of you read our message from earlier, but I basically said that Jason's out chasing piglets right at sunset. Carol went to go lock up the shop, and we were setting everything up. And Carol came in saying, "There's piglets out." So, I don't know if y'all have seen our pictures on Instagram, but we put them out on the garden back on like the 11th, I think. Hey everybody. And we put them out on the 11th. I took a picture. And it is now the 16th. And I don't know how many of y'all know, but like if you look at a pig and you look at their nose or their snout, the deeper it goes up their nose is an indication of how much they're rooting. And all of our pigs, even though they are black, you can still see the dirt, mark on their snout. And they're probably digging 2 to 3 inches easy, maybe 4 inches. I mean, it's pretty deep. And they're tilling up the ground really well in some sections, not in all of it. We may have to bring the one side of the fence down and push them more into, because right now we have them in 100 by 100 by 100 by 100 square, and we're probably going to have to take that one side and push them down so that maybe we only bring it down to about 50 feet, because we need to force them. I think it's too much space, and then maybe flip them over to the other side. Jason and I will have to talk about that later, because it seems like they're all over the place, but they're in certain areas. So Suburban wanted to know, how many pigs do we have? We have 31 in there right now. Now most of them are smaller piglets that have just been born within the last couple of months. And keep in mind, these are all guinea hogs. So they grow slower than, a regular pig. A bacon pig would probably grow, a lot of times people can, they'll be born in March, and by October they're ready to process at about 250, 300 pounds. Well, these pigs are not like that. They can take like 18 months to grow, 12 to 18 months to grow them out. And so they're not nearly as big as the bacon pigs get. So even at 3 to 4 or 5 months, they're still small, and they're still not eating like an adult yet. So the ground is still providing them plenty of stuff to eat, but what we're noticing is happening is, as they're rooting closer towards the edge of the fence, I think it's the dirt is grounding out the fence. So I don't know if we need to, take the fence, like push them, take the fence and move it, and maybe, clear out up underneath where the fence is on all the sides. We're going to have to play around with that, because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening, is it's grounding out. Now, the bottom strand, and this is the other thing, is the bottom strand of the fence is not electrified. So, yeah, just mud. Actually, we do have some pretty good quality dirt now. They have tilled it up enough that we're starting to get really good soil in certain areas. In other areas, because we've been amending the soil in that area since we've been here, like 5 years. And so you can tell on the one side, it's much more loomy, loamy, and good quality soil. And then you could see on one end there's a lot more of the Georgia clay kind of color to it. So we're definitely still having to amend that dirt and change the composition of it. That's what compost and wood chips and hay and all that stuff is for. So anyway, what I think is happening, it's either one of two things. Either the dirt that they're pushing up is grounding out the fence, or they are lifting up the fence from the very bottom. And since the bottom is not electrified, it's not shocking them. And so then they lift it up and go up underneath it. Sounds like a design flaw to me, but I'm not sure that's exactly how it does. So I think Blaze has taken the fence tester and tested the bottom strand, and there's no electricity coming through the bottom. So I guess the theory is that if they lift it up, that the fence will fall over on them and shock them. I haven't been out long enough to really watch them do that. So I'm really not sure, and I'm getting a little nervous because I've been on now for 6 more minutes and still no Jason. So let me see if anybody's got a radio.
Power on. 1.
That's a monster. The bottom row, even on the chicken fencing, I don't think the bottom row, because it's like a net. It's netting, so it goes across the bottom, and then so perpendicular, and the top layers. Now the great thing is the fencing is only like 3 feet, 2 or 3 feet tall, 2 feet tall maybe. I don't know. I think it's 2 feet, but it's not very tall, so it's not like. But they're not big pigs, so it's not like they jumped over it or anything. But it just, I don't know. We're going to have to kind of test everything out and see. Yeah, the bottom row isn't normally live because it'll short out. Yeah, they're about 2 feet tall. I think I hear some rackets, so they might be coming. But yeah, it's about 2 feet tall, and the bottom line is not, it's not electrified. So, but again, that can be a design flaw with a pig because they'll push up on stuff and as they're rooting. So yeah, this is a different kind of setup, and that's what we're working with Premier to kind of give them our feedback on if there are any things that they could do differently, or is it something we'll continue to use? Because so far it's been great. But for anybody who does electric fencing with pigs, it's always a concern because an electric fence, and this is the thing that a lot of people, and I didn't grasp it right away either, electrical fencing is not, there are 2 different types of barriers. There is a physical barrier and there's an emotional psychological barrier for animals. So physical barrier would be like a hard fence that they cannot get through. So if you have a horse in a stall, that is a physical barrier. They can't push through it. No matter what happens, unless the walls are not fortified and they literally push through the wood, they're not going anywhere. With electric fencing, that's the issue, is that it is not a physical barrier. It is a psychological barrier. So what happens is, even, barbed wire fence, it's a physical barrier, but a lot of times your animals will try to jump over it. So it doesn't, it's kind of a cross between the two, in my opinion. Because it's like, can I get over that? It just depends on the animal, if they can jump it. Some goats will jump a barbed wire fence like it's no big deal. let's see, I use 1 wire electric spark jump a 1/2 inch on that way. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, had a bull that would mow down any fence that he wanted to. Exactly. So then, well, and Cheryl, I appreciate that, but I feel like he would have sent one of the girls in if it was something that he needed me to help with. He probably would have sent, because he's got both girls out there. So if he needed help, he probably would have sent somebody out. And his explicit instructions were at 8 o'clock, push the transition button and just start talking. So y'all are stuck with me until he gets here. But so with the thing with the fencing is that this electric fencing is still just a psychological barrier. So at the end of the day, a pig, you know, if they want to get out, they're going to get out. Especially when you have like some of these big pigs that are breeders can be 500-600 pounds. So if they want to get through something, they're going to get through it. I mean, I've seen some of our pigs lift up full-size pallets and just throw them. Just toss them out of the way. So that nose is super, super strong. If you've ever had to feed a baby piglet and raise a baby piglet and they get attached to you, they will, I mean, they'll push you around and nudge you around. The bigger they get, I mean, it can be bad. All right, that's weird. What just happened? All right, I don't know what happened there. All right, so it says mother had a herd of goats. Some belly crawled under the barbed wire, got in her strawberry beds, and by the time I got home, they were at the stockyard. Exactly. Yeah. So now we have to kind of figure out, and this may just be one of those things where we have to learn the fence. It may be that it's not something that you can keep them somewhere for 4 or 5 days. Maybe it's a 2-day thing and then you move them, and it's a 2-day thing and then you move them so that that dirt doesn't pile up on the fence and ground it out. So I guess we're just going to have to kind of figure that out. See if we've got a contact at Premier that we'll probably reach out to on Monday. Say, hey, this is what's going on. Is there something that, we need to do differently? Because when we use the chickens, we don't ever have that issue. So the chicken netting. So with the pig netting, it's a little bit probably very different. So let's see. If an animal wants to get out of a fence, one way or another, it'll get out no matter what fence you have. That's true. Tell her to refresh, because I just had to refresh and it was fine then. So basically, you're stuck with me on Q&A. Was everybody here that's here from last night's live stream? Because we had a pretty good, it was long. It was like 2 hours, but it was super, super fun. We talked about kind of where Jason and I started with our homesteading career and how we, how we got started and the progression to where we are now. I think everybody kind of has an origin story, which is always fun to hear. But ours is a story grounded in basically learning lessons. It was just, there was a lot of stuff, and that's what a lot of people don't get, is a lot of people nowadays just start YouTube because, they can get all these subscribers and views and things and such. And our first YouTube video was because we were spending so much money learning some very, very hard lessons. And we would try to find answers on the internet and we couldn't find anything. YouTube was a baby, so there wasn't a lot of videos out on instructional how to do videos at the time. So Jason and I had to kind of fumble through and figure things out on our own. And then once we found something that we felt comfortable that we were doing it the right way, then we would go ahead and we would put it into a video and send it out. And that's just how we got started, and how we'll always be. Is if we find something that we learn, we want to share it with you guys. We want to say, hey, we tried that. Don't do that. Not a good idea, or, hey, we figured this out and it works awesome for us. You should try it, So that's just kind of where we're grounded and what our motivation is for doing all of this. So, oh, Jesus Christ. Did you get them all?
Of course I did.
Rebecca says you need to sit in that chair.
I ain't having it.
Or you're going to have to move me. Okay. You out of breath?
Not really.
So, what do you think happened?
I know exactly what happened.
Dirt?
Whatever they found that they were trying to get to China with today, they buried, in some parts, half of that fence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was.
And it was, they pushed it on it, and so it weighed it down a little bit, and they just walked right over it.
Yeah.
But it's bedtime, everybody's mungled up, but if they touch it in the morning...
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be fun because Blaze had spots in it. I guess it was still getting grounded a little.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we were only getting 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I did a walk around,
Mm-hmm.
we're up to 6.
Oh,
Across
Lordy.
the top, we're up to 6, and down at the bottom, we're now at 4. To where we were at 2.5.
Nice. So, TJ says, I watched last night's replay and I laughed so much when the bull butchery cart happened. Yeah, we were sitting down because Jason and I went to go do the grocery shopping today, and we were talking about, I was like, that live stream was really fun last night. And one of our peeps who's not here, or she is here and she's not saying anything, messaged me and she said, I really enjoyed your your live stream last night.
What were you messing
I'm
with?
watching it now, huh?
What'd you do, refresh or something?
I had to because
Okay. Well, we
it
were
went. That's fine.
missing
I've been
comments.
reading it
Okay.
that way.
All right, Homestead Paradise. What is some good advice for a first video for a new channel?
Introduce yourself.
And be
Honest.
brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in Jesus, don't be afraid to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that if we could go back in time and fix, we wouldn't, I don't want to say hide our faith, but we would be more outspoken about it. But introduce yourself, be 100% honest and truthful, try to relax, and just pretend you're hanging with your friends.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of folks out there
Yeah, don't hide it.
that act one way on camera and act another way in person.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we he has pig poo on his hands. Don't let him touch you. I don't care. I like pig poo. You know where my brain went, right?
Wieners. Hello,
Heritage
farm.
Farms.
How you
What's
doing?
up?
Yeah, but that's what I would be. I would be at my very first video would be an introductory video. And then make that your channel trailer. If you have a and I know kids are like, "Ooh, don't put a kid in a video right now." But look, later on when all of this thing blows over, if you're doing right, don't worry about it. And if you're going to have your children in your videos from time to time, then introduce them in your channel trailer.
So, Okay, so the first one was that face. What are you drinking? Well, Jason had taken just regular cherry Coke, and he had taken it even though I knew it was mine, but he took it over there. I wasn't going to say anything. So then I went to drink his tea, and they put stevia in his tea, and I do not like stevia. It's not my favorite taste. So when I tasted it, I was just thinking it was going to be unsweet tea. I didn't see the powder on the side of the thing. So anyway, and C.D. said, remember their first camping date, she was picking up cow pies for fire. That's impressive that she remembers that story.
I miss those days.
We need to go. You know, when you were telling the kids that we needed to start going out like once every other month or something like that to do our planning sessions, I was thinking, you know, it's going to start getting warm soon. We should just go camping. Like, don't even mess with a hotel or anything like that. Let's go find a state park somewhere and go camp or do something and do that instead. Because I really miss those times. We used to have a lot of fun camping.
Yes. You impressed me a lot when we went camping.
Oh, but now he is disappointed in me because today he informed me that I am no longer...
You're really going to bring that up?
Oh, yeah. I'm so going to tell everybody.
Are we fixing to have another 30 random facts video?
Mm-mm. Just one.
No.
So,
I would keep that to myself.
So this morning, or this early afternoon...
Okay, just remember.
We were in Blaze's truck.
Marines return fire.
We were in Blaze's truck, and there was a screw that was loose, and so I pulled out my Leatherman and went to fix it. And Jason's like, give me that before you cut yourself. And I'm like, I have had this Leatherman for 14 years. I can handle it just fine. He's like, that's the same one? I said, yes, baby. This is the first gift you ever gave me. I will die with this thing in my hand. It will always be with me.
I don't think it's the same one.
It is.
I think you
They
lost...
don't even make that kind anymore.
I think you lost that one, found it on eBay, and said, I know he has memory issues.
No, I swear to you, on a Bible.
Okay. You see how you felt right there?
Mm-hmm.
That ticket that's in my wallet is the movie stub from our first movie.
You can't even see
it's
it.
14 years old.
So it's a Leatherman. It's a multi-tool. It's a very bare bones. And keep in mind, when Jason first met me, I had a silver spoon in my mouth. I knew nothing about. I mean,
it was gold plated.
Yeah, I mean, I had never really been. I'd been camping a couple of times for like.
A log cabin is not camping.
No. I went in a tent a couple of times. It's not. I mean, but again, it was like at a state park, not like going out to like what we were doing. So, so basically, when we met in March, my birthday was in July, and of course, I wasn't expecting him to get me anything for my birthday. We'd only known each other for a couple of months, and. And he gives me this box, and it was wrapped in comic.
Don't hate the wrapping.
In the comic section of the.
I spent all my money on the gift.
I know, right? Really, you did, because it was at the time. It was the base model, but it was still really nice.
A Leatherman is something like this.
Yeah.
But it's the top of the line. It's the high grade multi-tool.
Yeah. So,
Comes
and I think
with
it
a
has
lifetime
like
guarantee.
on mine, it's got the needle nose pliers or whatever, but then it's got like 3 things on each side. So it's not like one of these big, huge, hefty ones. It's just, a basic multi-tool. So I always have it with me. I even wrote a blog not too long ago about it. So if you haven't read that, you need to, after hearing all this, you need to go to the website and check out the blog about the Leatherman. But anyway, so he's giving me a ration of trash about still having the same one, and that it needs to be oiled, and it's rusting, and it needs to be clean, and all this stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll fix it for me. Go ahead and fix it for me. So we're driving down the road, and I said, yeah, I really got to take care of that thing. I got to clean it, start maybe disinfect it a couple times. And Jason looked at me, and he's like, what do you mean disinfect it? I said, I've used that knife to cut food and, cut things off of my shirt. I use a knife all the time.
I got E. coli.
And he's like, you what? He's like, oh my gosh, Robin. He's like, you have changed so much. So he's like, I ruined you. I totally ruined you. He said, well, I bet you.
No, I took this beautiful. Did you count them? I guess so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I took this beautiful young woman who had all of this high class manners, prim and proper, cultured, wine tasting,
sushi, different
sushi
sushi
eating, and turned her into a backwoods redneck.
He's like, used to
You
wear
just need
heels.
some chaw.
No, I'll never be like that. He's like, you used to dress all nice and, and now, he's like, well, you dress nice now because now that I'm having to work outside of the office and wear nice stuff. But today I was back in my Justin boots and my little jeggings and
your blue jeans.
and my blue jeans, and he's like, "Oh my God, I ruined you."
Yeah, but even back then you didn't wear makeup.
No. No, I didn't.
You wore.
No, now I disagree on the hillbilly thing. I think there is a huge difference between a redneck and a hillbilly. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think there's a big difference. But anyway. The bumper on the back of my car is held on with duct tape. My exhaust was held on for a year by some wire I found. My motorbike exhaust was held together by cables for a while. Yeah, so
did you? I mean, what all have you talked about so far?
Well, we were just talking about the pigs and the fence.
So you didn't talk about how we got serenaded today?
No, no, I wasn't gonna bust her out like that.
Okay.
Yay, Dee's here. She had company. She had to kick him out. Broussard, hello. So today Cheryl, I'm waiting in line to get my food, and I get this Marco Polo, and I don't use Marco Polo that much. So
I do,
because I'm like really weird about like photos and videos and like anyway. So basically, it came up, and occasionally I'll get like, hey, your friend is on, go ahead and say hi. So I was thinking that's what it was going to be.
See, I always do that. Mm-hmm. If Marco Polo sends a message to me, it says, hey, like it always does it with Nunda and Tommy.
See, I always get Amy and Jeremiah. Those are the ones that always, hey, Amy,
And see, here's the thing. I've learned, especially with Nunda and with Tommy, that when they do it, I'll send them a Marco Polo. Say, hey, Marco Polo says we haven't talked in a while, and I just wanted to say, hey, I love you. Hope you're having a great day. And it makes both of their days.
Makes their day. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can honestly say when I opened it up, and keep in mind the very first thing I see is a picture of her, and it's like white behind her, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that snow?
It was snow.
So then she sang to us, she serenaded us, and she said, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas even though it's only March. So it was really funny. So that was really cool. We enjoyed that. She's
gonna have a white St. Patrick's Day.
Dee got her oven in today. So maybe a lot of people don't know this, but Dee has been renovating her kitchen, and her husband has been working diligently on helping, get it all taken care of. But that's why she wasn't in our stream last night. It was because they were hooking up electricity, and so she couldn't have the computer or the TV or anything running.
So we got a bunch of things fixing to happen here. Here, there, everywhere. In 3 weeks? We have the shindig. April the 6th. About 3 weeks. In Arkansas. So we're going to be there doing demos. I possibly may be speaking. I haven't gotten the final yay or nay on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to go down there and have a great time with Big Ben and Jeremiah and Jess. Old man bun. And there's going to be a lot of folks there.
I mean,
and Robin agreed
shut your face.
to call the hogs. But Robin's not alone. VW Family Farm. What's her name? I'm drawing a blank. Andrea is going to do the what's it called?
No, you can still send them to me. They make my day. Just don't get your feelings hurt if I don't respond right away. That's all.
What's that dance called?
Floss.
The floss. So she's going to be on stage, supposedly on stage, flossing while
trying to floss.
Trying to
that
floss.
is a difficult thing to do. It's hard to tell your brain to do all
trying
that.
the floss while you're calling the hogs.
And you're going to be dancing in a tutu.
Negative. I didn't agree to it. You agreed to call the hogs on a live stream.
I did. Just because I didn't think we'd ever make it to Arkansas. But...
So, yeah, I'm going to be running a camera.
Everybody, look, anyone who knows, like, that was the thing that Jess remembered about me. Like, when we kind of passed at the convention or at the conference, and, I mean, she knows me because I was the one that made the hat for her son. But then later, when we hit in passing and she was telling me thank you, we were on film and talking, and I was like, oh, I'm from Arkansas too. And I told her, and she's like, let's call the hogs. I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. And so when they came here, she remembered that interaction, and she's like, yeah, you got. I was like, I'll tell you what, if I make it to Arkansas, I will call the hogs. And she was like, that's on a live stream. You're gonna make it to Arkansas. I'm just telling you right now. Like, no.
And so last night in VW Family Farms live stream, we came up with a hashtag for you guys.
Yeah, I wasn't in that live stream. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist at this point.
Hashtag flossing the hogs.
So yeah, so I'm sure there will be several cameras.
Internet gold.
Several cameras that will. Let's just, yeah, okay. I'm just gonna leave.
You want to start warming up your voice now? Me.
It's gonna be a lot of moonshine involved. I'm just saying. I just don't know how I'm gonna do that without having any kind of liquid courage to do so. Just not sure how that's gonna work.
So we've got that on April 6th. And then the very next month, May, Memorial Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We are hosting here on our homestead a class.
Yep.
Myself and JJL Forge are hosting a 2-day trapping and blacksmithing class combined.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how this is going to go down, the cost is $150 for a 2-day class. In the morning, the very first morning, you will do blacksmithing with Josh up until lunchtime. We are feeding you lunch. After lunch, you're with me to the end of the day. We will be doing a basic introduction to predator control, trapping, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Dinner time. Are we providing dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're providing dinner.
And that's what some of that money is going towards the food.
Going towards the food. We're going to have a little bit of a fire, sit around, chew the fat. In the morning, the next morning, you will be with me. Because that afternoon, we are going to run and we're going to set...
The Saturday afternoon, you'll be setting
a trap line here on my homestead. That morning, we will be going out to check the traps. We'll check the traps. We'll take care of anything that we catch. Bring it back. There'll be, if we caught anything, then we'll do a skinning class. If not, we'll go further into depth with setting, getting more hands-on, making sets and stuff like that. And then eat lunch.
We will provide that.
We will provide lunch. Then you will be with Josh, where you're making, I think he's calling it a squirrel spit or a squirrel sticker. Something like that.
Yeah.
You're going to be making a couple of things with Josh, hands-on. And then the end of the day, are we doing another dinner? We're doing another dinner. Boom.
Hang out until everybody decides what they're going to do and leave.
Yep. Leave. And then we, depending on how everybody feels and the weather, we may host a sunrise Memorial Day. I don't want to call it a service, but service here. Say our goodbyes and be gone.
Yeah, for anybody that wants to stay.
Yeah. So, if you are interested, we are only accepting 10 class members. Because first time doing it, that's as many as Josh says he can handle to be able to do all the hands-on stuff. And I agreed that that's probably a good number with scent control. So, there's only 10 seats. It's limited to 10 seats. So, if you want to go ahead and reserve your seat, send us an email, and then you can either send us a check for the class via mail, or we'll do a, pay it when you get here kind of thing. But we will not be doing PayPal because we're taking that money and
we have to divide it between
Josh and I.
And
we
the
got to get all of the food.
Right. Yeah.
Any questions? It is going to be a fun time. Now, if you and your bride or you and your husband want to come, it's still the $150. We do ask that if one of you is doing the classes and the other one's coming just to hang out with Robin and help with Robin, we do ask if you make a little bit of a donation. That way we can beef up the food.
Although I don't know. We're gonna. I have to start planning out the meals, so that will kind of be because we're still gonna have to have paper plates, things like that. So it's not just gonna be food; it's gonna be paper plates, trash cans, all of that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, so that's that. That's Memorial Day weekend. So, anybody that wants to do that, just give us an email and let us know that you want to reserve your spot.
Yeah, send us the email, reserve your spot, and
let us know. Yep.
Let us know. We're going to be posting a lot about it.
There you go. Or you can weed the gardens and muck the pens for your dinner. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely no problem with somebody wanting to work off that stuff.
Yeah.
So, again, just email us. If one of the moderators could put our email address in the chat box for us, I would appreciate it. Mickey would understand.
Yeah, I think Mickey would.
I think when Mickey would
Actually,
really
I think she
understand.
tried to use this as an excuse to not have to go see Mickey, but didn't fly.
I don't know what to say.
Yep. No, that's exactly right. The
Yep.
first steps.
So we need your guys' support on this one.
If you are not interested, but you know somebody who might be, just make
Yeah.
sure you kind of pass that along.
Pass
let people
along the
know.
information. Because here's the thing, guys. Homesteaders of America Conference, they're doing their hands-on classes.
And we're
Again,
going, yeah.
And we're both Josh and me are both teaching those classes.
Right.
And so this was one of the things that, with talking with the Homesteaders of America folks, that they thought it was a really good idea for us to do this because a lot of people wanted to take Josh's classes. Some people want to take my class, but all these people, they also wanted to take like the rabbit butchering class or the canning class or this class.
Right.
And so we're opening it up so that way you guys have the chance to get all of the classes that
I was going to say,
that
yeah,
you
I
want to
mean,
get.
it's not just going to be one. You're going to get 2 of them knocked out. So.
Yeah, you'll get 2 of them knocked out. That's why it's a 2-day weekend.
Right.
And
we figured with it being Memorial Day weekend, it would give everybody travel time to be able to go do, and come down. So.
Right. Because that's what, when we first started talking about this, that's what a lot of y'all said, that you'd like to have it over that holiday weekend because you'd have that extra day to travel then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and then after that, we get a little bit of a rest just going to be doing homestead stuff. Comes August time frame, we will be in Missouri. No, we're going to be June. We are going to...
It's going to be a very quick trip. Like, we're literally going to probably take Friday off and supersonic drive up to Ohio. And we're going to Customer Appreciation Day at Meyer Hatchery.
Because we haven't been able to do the announcement because there's been some really messed up stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
But Meyer Hatchery has joined us as a sponsor for the the 2019 garden project and to sponsor our homestead. They're going to be hopefully going to be able to be doing a lot of stuff with Meyer Hatchery with different projects and different things.
Yeah.
And they have been super...
They've been amazing. Very helpful.
Super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been invited to that.
Yeah, we're going to go do that in June. July is going to kind of be really more harvesting and preserving. And then August
we will be back in Missouri.
We'll be in Missouri.
It will be in Missouri. I'm sorry.
Arkansas and Missouri are close. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Be in Missouri for the Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy's Homesteading Life Conference, where we will be putting on workshops. On predator control.
Yep.
And then we come home. No sooner we get our boots kicked off, take a shower. It'll be time to head to Virginia. To the Homesteaders of America Conference for our 3rd year. Loving it.
I don't know how many of y'all realize this, but it is March, y'all. I mean, we're almost through 3 months of the year already. Like, it's super, 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 super fast. So, I just imagine in 3 more months, it's going to be June. Like, I mean, it's not much longer before...
Where at the Homesteaders of America Conference, we are doing classes again the day before. And...
Good night, Cheryl.
We will be doing demos all day. Now, one of the things that I'm going to change up with my demos, and I haven't really told Amy this yet, but I know she'll be on
okay with it.
We're going to try to time, or I'm going to get the things to where if there's when speakers are going on, we're not going to be doing demos.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you read on the Facebook all of their posts, but they're spacing their speakers 30 minutes. Like, there's a speaker, then there's a 30-minute break, and then a speaker, and then a 30-minute break. So you'll be doing your
demos
during those 30
30-minute breaks. And I'm going to space out my demos. It's not just going to be a shotgun approach to my demos. One time in a 30-minute break, it's going to be about the coons and the possums. And then the next time, it's going to be about your canines.
Hey, Todd.
Then the next time, it's going to be about your cats. And then the next time, we may talk a little bit about your water predators. And then we'll start it right back up again.
So that's what the plan is to be able to do it during those times so people don't miss.
So that way people don't miss speakers. If there's a speaker that we want to see, we'll be able to go out there. Are
they Ken? Reap what you sow, Lejeune and Todd Lejeune. I'm thinking they're Ken. It must be Ken. So, yeah. Hello,
Hey,
city
city
girl.
girl.
What's up? We were wondering.
We got you up on the prayer wall. We heard that you were under the weather still, and you were in the ER.
Yeah. She said she had been doing the pee diet, so.
Yeah. So we're glad that you're here, and we hope that you are feeling better. Much better.
All right. Yeah, she was in the ER. So, the rest of this weekend, we still got a lot to do. We're going to plan out our beds, our garden beds. We're going to do that tomorrow.
Yep, we'll be placing the beds in the planter, and then
Moving them around. Oh, we got to paint them too. What did we do today?
Okay, the kids will be painting. You will be in here with me.
No? Well, yes.
There is no no to this question.
But I still have to make...
No. Planting booty right in chair, because it's easier for me to move said raised bed on the computer than you breaking my back out there going...
No, a little bit over to the left. No. Take it to the other side.
Take that big heavy one and let's move it all the way over here.
Put it on top of your head and just spin it around.
No. I don't like it there either. Let's move it back here, up here by the house.
No, that's the wrong color. Put it.
No, that's get
the purple one.
Get the purple one and bring it up. No. I need to take a break. And then, come Monday, we didn't get those raised bed plays like I wanted to. We're still behind the power curve.
I got you trained, honey.
So, booty planted in chair, moving them around in the garden planter. Boom. Over, done with, gone. Get them in place, out there, boogity.
You failed to mention when tractor fixing day is going to be.
So what day are you coming down again?
Just saying.
And we need to speak with you.
I already messaged him.
Oh, you already messaged him?
I already talked to put it up there and told him to call us tomorrow, text us tomorrow when he can talk.
Okay. So, Mama grows.
So, there's other thing. I'll be bringing tools when I come.
Good, because I got a lot of work for your booty. Because you were like an engineer.
Starting to get my free wood, dirt, and wood chips tomorrow. Yay! Awesome. So one of the other things that we got to do is we really got to start getting everything ready. I know, right, Dee? She probably wouldn't mind booty and chair if she had a new chair. We tried to get one. No. I'm going to punch you right there. No, square. I'm going to do it. I swear, right on live. I'm telling you, I will.
No, you can't sit there.
Yes, I can.
Oh, no, you can't. Because I told you to pick out your chair today while we were out.
I did, but we can't afford it right now.
No.
I have to wait.
No, you looked in one place.
No, I didn't. I looked online, too.
Sam's stuff is not online. We could have went over to Sam's.
It's still like $140.
Stop. Don't touch me there.
I mean, I'm not. We can't do it right now.
No.
So maybe next pay period, but just can't do it right now. So that's why I brought a pillow to put on my booty. So anyway, are you going to be doing quail videos this spring? Yes. That was one of the things when we were doing all of our planning.
Yep.
That we agreed we're going to get quail and get everything done. So inch square is all the punch would take. Yeah, I know, right? Bam! Right there in the middle. So Judy asked, Jason, you said one time to keep voles and moles away from the garden to put down cardboard and some kind of fabric stuff. Do I need both or just cardboard?
Both. You need the hardware cloth. You can pick it up Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, any type of 1870.
What's up?
You can pick it up at any of your box hardware stores. I think even Walmart carries hardware cloth.
It does. They do, but they carry theirs back in the garden section.
Right. And then you just cross the bottom of your raised bed Staple it to the bottom. Boom. And then put your cardboard on top. Your cardboard's more of like a weed barrier. Mm-hmm. The hardware cloth is to keep your moles, voles, and gophers out.
No, it's not a weed killer. It's a metal, galvanized metal cloth screen. Not cloth. It's a screen, like a screen. But they're 1/4 inch. Did you say 1/4 inch?
It doesn't really matter for that one. You can use 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. Well, I just always have a bunch of the 1/4 inch left over because in my nuisance wildlife work, I use the 1/4 inch hardware cloth to exclude bats, squirrels, flying squirrels, and stuff from houses.
She said I'm gonna have to pick y'all's brains about quail. Now, I read a little bit further down. You're getting eggs. How are you going to hatch them?
Who are we talking about?
Terry.
Oh, okay.
140 divided by X for soaps by the lovely Miss Robin, her office chair. Come on, friends. Well, okay, so CD, that was the next thing because we are trying to get some soaps moving. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Terry, we've got 2 really good quail videos already. One is the sustainable living quail. Mm-hmm. That one's a little bit newer. Mm-hmm. But one of our very first videos that we put out, which is packed full of a lot of good information, just very bad videography.
Well, we didn't have a really good camera.
No, and that one is titled, we just retitled it.
I don't remember. It's got a picture of the girls holding quail like this.
Yeah. It's like from 6 or 7 years ago. Homestead quail.
So what are you hatching them in? How are you going to hatch them? She says, I have something to put them in. What are you putting them in?
Teresa gonna be at the Shindig incubator. Uh-oh, somebody got an incubator.
Got an incubator.
Okay, now when you're putting them bad boys in there, quail, for some reason, like a lot of humidity. Mm-hmm. So get that puppy up there. Oh, speaking of, let me back up. Your son informed me that the...
Raising Quail for Beginners is the name of that video.
That, the incubator needs a new thermostat and humidity reader. Of course it does. Yeah, that doesn't matter, Terry, because I'm talking about the humidity in the incubator. You're gonna have to make sure
never let it fall below 50%.
It's at like 72 to 75% humidity in there. Now, one of the tricks, I don't know what type of incubator you got. If you got one of them little styrofoam incubators, one of the things that you can do is get a very tiny tray and get a small sponge. Mm-hmm. Have the sponge damp.
Hey, Mama.
Not soaked, but damp.
Just damp.
Damp. And let it sit in there on that tray. Then every day or so, reach in there, get it damp, and put it out there. That helps keep that humidity high. When Blaze and I built our
Yankee Living
incubator from that upright freezer, we literally took a
bread pan,
set it on top of the box that had the light fixture in it that heated it, and then would dip the sponge in there, put it on top of that heating thing, but also kept the pan in there
with a little bit of water in
with
the
a
bottom
little bit of water in the bottom to keep the humidity up. And we had an 85 to 90% hatch rate with it. Now, when we forked the money out for our Dickies incubator, our hatch rate went to 99 to 100%.
Super accurate, especially with quail, because quail fertility is much higher than chickens, at least in our experience. It's been much higher. So, yeah. That's that. Yep. So I'm getting ready to do some new soaps.
Yes. New soaps.
Yes. So I made a new batch of Sweet Slumber soap the other day. I got that all cut and packaged and ready to send out. And I was telling Jason I'm going to try, because we've done abrasives before with tea bags, like the loose tea in the tea bags. We've used coffee grounds.
What's the one that's ripping like 3 layers of my skin off right now?
That's the everything, the breakfast bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ultimate breakfast bar. That thing is a beast.
Yeah, I take a bath and lose like 3 pounds because it's like.
No, the new one. Okay, so the new one, the one I was just talking about, is I just did Sweet Slumber, which is one I already have. It's a more mild, like kind of gets you ready to go to sleep. My Warrior Repose is also known to the people that really enjoy it. They call it the coma soap because it knocks you out. But the new one that I'm doing, I have a soap called For Zits and Giggles. And we're going to make that, but I'm going to put oats in it as well. And for a mild abrasive, just to see if that helps a little bit with, just a face soap. Another one I'm working on, I'm going to try it on myself first, is going to be for this stuff right here. This and this. These
Your tea area.
These laugh lines and these crow's feet and all of this stuff right here. I'm gonna
Your forehead?
Well, I got little laugh lines right here.
Well, that's because you're scrinkling your forehead up.
Yeah. But
Just make a normal face.
they're right there. I can feel them. You can't say they're not there. I can feel them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So anyway, I am working on one, and I'm going to call it the Time Machine. Do I do any lavender soap with coconut oil? I mean, I could. I do coconut. I've used coconut oil, grapeseed oil. I mean, I have an array. We do some of our natural lard from our guinea hog that we had. I have extremely dry skin, and I bought some oatmeal soap with a lavender scent. Yeah.
Reap what you sow, Lejeune.
Where can I purchase some soap? So if you go to if somebody could do that,
put up our website, please.
It's www.bigbearhomestead.com and then /shop. If you go there, there should be a section that says like bath and body or something like that. If you click on that, all of the soaps and stuff are there.
Yeah. And guys, be visiting the website regularly because we are going to be adding all kinds of new and different things to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be rolling out some stuff.
Yeah, I'm working on
some merch.
A gardener soap. Wash away the day kind of soap. So I'm really like getting into, I'm getting into what is the right word?
Soap.
Mm-hmm. We really, so the thing is, I don't know how many of y'all, most of y'all have been around since I started making soap. The thing is, I only started making soap because I needed it for Carol for her face. And that's where For Zits and Giggles came from.
Mm-hmm. Good night, Homestead Paradise. Thanks for coming by.
Good night. And so then it just became a labor of love. Whenever there was something that popped up that we needed, then I would say, well, let me see if I can make a soap for it.
Then, and that's not necessarily 100% true. No.
Why?
Because LaDessa started getting involved with it with you, and then it was your mother-daughter thing y'all had going on.
Right, but we were still only making the stuff that worked for us. I wasn't like asking people, what kind of soaps do you want, so I can go ahead and make them. Like, that wasn't really what I was doing. We were identifying things that we had. We were identifying things that we needed here and, perfecting recipes so that it's stuff that we could use. So that's where kind of like Sweet Slumber came from. And then when I happened upon the mixture for Warrior's Repose, that kind of, I've been making that one so much lately that it's time to make something else. I mean, like, it's a great seller, and I wish everybody in the world would have Warrior Repose soap because everybody would sleep so much better.
And everybody would be nicer.
But it is amazing. Like, it is the best. I can tell. So for a while we didn't have any because it was, I had made some, but it was up on a shelf that nobody could reach. And so I went up there and grabbed one and brought it down. And the other night, Jason and I slept so well. And the next morning, it was so hard to get up. And I was like, gosh, why am I so tired still? And it's like, we used the soap last night. I was like, oh, give me the coffee soap. So then you have to use the coffee soap. So that, I need to start selling it as a 2-pack. Like, this is your night soap and this is your day soap. So it works out really well. The other one that I've really enjoyed recently is Carol's Cup of Green Tea. We use the green tea as the liquid, and so it's kind of like this greenish color, and then it's got loose green tea leaves in it. And that one has been the other abrasive one that we've been using that's been really nice as well. It's really good. It's an antioxidant. So yeah, so I'm going to be working on, I'm going to be the mad scientist, get into the soap making again. I'm excited. So, but I'm going to try the oatmeal to see.
The only thing I don't like about it when you make soap is when you come in and you're like, lick this.
The zap test, yeah. I usually make Ladessa do it, but she's gotten to where she's like, but to my defense, none has ever zapped anybody.
No, but I'm still getting soap on my
in your
tongue.
mouth, right? I'm still always good. It's already saponified, but it's funny because I'll be like, here, lick this. What? Lick it. I need to know if there's any lye left. No lye. Okay, good. But it tastes like soap. Good, because it's supposed to taste like soap.
Yeah.
So that's that. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. We're gonna be having some T-shirts come out soon because we've passed the 10,000 mark and we've been past it long enough that we are able to put out the little across the bottom. So we're gonna have mugs, bags, T-shirts. Yarn is just yarn.
And kind
shirts.
of stuff, yeah. So Judy asked if could you just smell it? No, you have to be able, like, your tongue will react to, if the soap still has lye in it, your tongue will react to the soap. And so that's the good old fashioned way of doing it. I'm sure there are other ways to test if it's lye, but that's the quick and painful way to do it.
And guess who gets to do it?
It used to be Ladessa, but now it's you. So, just saying. I enjoy that because there's that anticipation. Like, you're like right there. Like, Ladessa can't stand it. She's like,
It's like sticking your tongue to a 9-volt.
Yeah.
You know it's not a good idea.
Old-fashioned tongue zapping. Yep, that's exactly right. So, yeah. So that's the way that you can test if there's any lye left, because you don't want the lye in there. And to be fair, I usually don't like make the soap and then use it like the next day. So it usually sits and cures for a little while anyway. So even if it didn't zap, I would still just let it sit for a little while longer to cure before I started sending it out to people. So yeah, so I'm excited about the soaps. And now I got to work on packaging, because the way that we're doing labels right now, or the little tags right now, is just not cost efficient. So got to figure that one out too.
So does anybody have any questions about
anything?
The shindig, the class in May, come and maybe meet up with us at the Meyer customer service.
Duncan family said that they're not far, like an hour and a half from Meyer.
Thing. Doug and Stacy's Homesteading Life. Thing. The HOA. Thing.
Anybody?
They probably don't want me to call it a thing.
Bueller.
So, but to go over it again, the blacksmithing and trapping class, 2 days here on the Homestead. $150. That includes 4 meals. plus bonfire. 2 nights.
So the Homesteaders of America conference is October 11th and 12th. They're doing the hands-on workshops on the 10th, which is the day before. So that's when that is. Did you ever think about getting stickers made? Yes, except, so here's my dilemma. Whenever, and I don't know about y'all, but when I go to buy something that has a scent to it, I like to be able to smell it. And if you saran wrap them or package them up in plastic, it makes it, because a lot of my soaps are not super scent, like they smell, but it's a very subtle smell because I don't use any artificial scents or anything like that. And so I want my customers to be able to smell the soap. So if I saran wrap them or package them up in plastic, you're not going to be able to do that. And then putting a sticker on it, then that's an issue as well. So I've been tying them up with fabric, just random pieces of scrap fabric that we have, and then putting tags on them. So ribbon, you could do that too. But the tags that I have right now, I mean, I have them designed and everything like that, but the tags are kind of expensive to make or to do. And my handwriting's not pretty enough to do like the brown whatever. So that's the thing. What about the tub shrink wrapping that the ends would be open? I don't know. I still think, I don't know. So Green Gables, I do that. I put out sample stuff for people to smell and take, but more often than not, I end up having to cut a bar to be able to do that, to have samples and stuff. I probably could have one out for people to smell. And that might be an option, maybe, to just put one out for people to smell them. That might be good. So it's just one of those things. And I mean, if you look at the pictures, they're so pretty with the fabric and the tag. It's just the tags get a little pricey. So if I could figure out a way to get the tags done that they weren't that expensive, then it wouldn't be as bad. But muslin bags, yeah. Now, Teresa, I actually sell something called a soap sack that is basically that. You use it as the washcloth for the soap, and the soap comes inside it. You just don't want everybody touching the bar somebody else is going to bathe. Well, right, but they don't do that. They usually have this, I have small samples cut into little cubes beforehand. So, but yeah, shrink wrap bands, yeah. Most of my soaps, all of the extras that are stored are in a plastic shoebox and like up underneath the table or whatever. I don't usually have a whole bunch of them out at a time for people to be, touching. So, coffee filters. I don't know. So, but I love all the suggestions, y'all. Thank you. I gotta start working on the packaging and working on making the stock because the soaps do really well with us. We sell quite a bit of them, so gotta make sure we have those.
And so it's gardening time. We are going to be. Look, we know we told you guys that we were going to be putting videos out every day at about 7:00. And we had 1 week where we didn't get a single video out because our account got frozen. Mm-hmm. And then the next week it was trying to catch up and we had to refix a lot of the settings and everything. So we had some videos that were, for some reason, and the time change. They came out at 6 instead of at 7. And then others didn't come out till 8. So this week coming, we're going to try to get those videos out every day at 7 p.m. except for on Monday and Saturday, as long as old Mother Nature doesn't throw another
wrench
in it.
Yep.
And so,
all right. Anybody else got any questions? Tissue paper. It's all different types of ideas.
So you're getting a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're shooting for my book to be out in 2020 before the Homesteaders of America conference.
Mm-hmm.
My Predator Control and the Homestead book. We are currently working on...
How many more Grow Veg videos are coming?
You say that like you don't like them.
How many more do I have to suffer through?
You don't like the Grow Veg videos? That just hurts my feelings.
No, I do like them.
We got one more with us placing the vegetables in and learning all of the stuff, the tabs for square foot gardening, and companion planting, and being able to rotate through. And then we're going to have another one. We're going to show you how to do another layer on top of that one where you can put out your irrigation stuff. And then
I'll answer that in a second. Go ahead. Hey, Kathy.
I think that one's going to be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do a live stream that's going to be probably be just me. I don't know. Robin may be here. She may not be.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have be able to put the Grow Veg up on the screen with us and go through it and answer any questions that I may not have covered in those classes.
Robin, what size are the bars? Oh, gosh. About this big? About that big? I don't know.
The Pirate and the Lumberjack.
I think, honestly,
How are you
TJ,
doing?
I think they weigh, like, I know, like, the standard seems to be, I keep seeing, like, 5 ounces, but I think mine are heavier than that. They're a pretty good size
They're
bar.
good fitting bars.
I only get, just to give you an idea, on the standard things, I think I only get, like, 8. It says quantity 250, 4-inch by 4-inch crystal clear shrink wrap soap bands. Packaging and protect, provide professional look with. Yeah, no, that's not gonna fit. I don't think.
We have the Swarm Trap videos coming out. We'll have the one with the construction of them coming out, and then we are going to have placing the swarm traps coming out, and then the bat boxes will be coming out because it's still just a little bit too early for the bat boxes, but we're getting really close, and so I kind of want to get out and get ahead of it. So if not this week coming with the bat box, they'll definitely be next week.
Inch. They're like 3 by 3, like 3 inches tall by 3 inches wide, but they're probably about 2 inches thick.
I've been saving seeds out of some things and just drying them out. Heard someone say you need to wash the seed first. True. If so, why? Well, I don't necessarily like to use the word wash, but you do need to rinse them off to get any of the, what they call meat, basically any of the other vegetable matter, any of the slime and stuff off of it, and then spread them out and let them dry. Now that's for stuff like cucumbers, squash, zucchini, pumpkins, okra. Well, no, that's not correct with okra. Your watermelons, your cantaloupes.
All the bigger seeds.
Yeah. Now your corn, your okra, I let them dry out on the stalks, on the vine.
Yeah, tomatoes are...
Tomatoes you have to... Now, tomatoes are tricky.
Yeah.
Okay? You scoop them out, and then you've got to get like a baby food jar, put them in there, and then kind of like fill it up about halfway with water, and then let them sit.
Yeah, and the seeds will...
And then all of that film and muck and stuff will sink to the will float to the top, and the seeds should sink to the bottom, or other way around.
I think it's the other way around, but yeah. They separate. So
Danny and Wanda got a great video. I don't know if you'll be able to find it, but they did a great video about it way back when. 3-4 years ago.
Oprah will get you a bunch of seeds, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's what they mean by wash it. I wouldn't be in there scrubbing it or anything. I would just be rinsing it off to get any excess meat or the there's a word for that slime stuff that's on there, and I can't recall it right off the top of my head. Look, this is what I believe, and this is how I am. Okay? I do not believe there's any stupid questions in the world.
The stupid one is the one you don't ask. In my opinion.
I was brought up to believe, my daddy always told me that there's only one dumb question in the world, and that's the one that goes unasked. Mm-hmm. So don't ever feel like we would laugh at you or make fun of you or anything because you're asking a question. Mm-mm. No, I want you guys to ask questions. And look, and I'm the type of guy that if I don't know, I'll refer you to somebody that may know, or I will ask for your email address and I will go look it up and I'll figure out what it is and I will send you an email.
Like I had an email question the other day from somebody who was like, I want to make pickled quail eggs, but I'm just not sure. How are you supposed to boil? Like, I don't want to ask this question because it's going to sound stupid, but do you boil them like you boil chicken eggs? And I was like, that's actually a really good question because no, you don't boil them as long as you do chicken eggs because, they're not as big. But the other really cool thing is that little tool that we saw that's like a pair of scissors because their eggshells are incredibly tough compared to a chicken egg. So,
what's up, Big Ben?
So there's a little pair of like scissors.
3 weeks, baby.
That'll cut around the shell and actually make it to where it's easier for them to peel. Yeah.
Now, Ben, I don't know if you saw my comments last night. You were talking about the hog hunt. Dude, come here. We could probably get paid to go hog hunt. There's no close season here. Mm-mm. Okay? And people are always begging folks to come get the wild hogs. Mm-hmm. And I got probably about 10 different places that we could go to.
Yep.
And just blast them. Mm-hmm. So if you want to come, guess away.
Hop a ride in the back of the car.
You let me know when it's a good time for you, and I will start setting it up. And maybe if my son's a state trooper by then, maybe we can do it in a helicopter.
Really? Like how is that even possible?
What they got?
For him to be in a helicopter, like really?
You never know.
That's like us talking about being able to get an elephant.
You misinterpreted what I said. I said he might be able to get us in a helicopter.
Oh, okay. So. Man dreams. Yep, that's what it is. It's a man dream.
Look, they have them in Texas where you can pay to get in the chopper and just light them up.
Oh, I bet. $3,000 to do it that way in Texas. That is crazy. That is super crazy for some pig. I mean, really?
I would pay $3,000.
No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't let you. Yes, I said let.
Let?
Yes, I said let. Yes, I said let. Because you and I would be fighting over that. Like, really?
We're going to be fighting then because you're not going to talk about letting me.
I'm telling you.
Let me.
Yeah, I love bacon, but not that much.
Let me. There's going to be a video coming out within the next 5 years. My fat butt in a helicopter with a saw. Lighting up the pigs.
All right, let me spend $3,000 on yarn.
You already do.
No, really?
I got a room to prove it.
No, you don't. There's no way that I've spent that kind of money on. And mine pays for itself. Mm-hmm. How is that $3,000? How are you gonna recoup that $3,000?
What do you mean, how am I going to recoup it?
Yeah. How?
How? You can get pork.
Not $3,000 worth.
Do I need to pull the whiteboard out?
Yeah, no, I know that Mama does.
Do I need to pull the whiteboard out to break down hunting, the cost of hunting again,
no, you're
and
not.
how much per pound of meat you're getting?
No. So, Green Gable says, my sister-in-law works for the owner of Pioneer Flowers. She sets hunts up for him all the time in Texas. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. See?
Mine makes money, too. See? That's what I'm saying. We recoup our cost because we sell stuff from it. How are you going to recoup $3,000? No, there's no way that the pigs are going to recoup that.
Big Ben and I, in a helicopter with high-powered rifles, busting pigs
No.
with GoPros everywhere, internet gold.
You see what bacon cost? I know, right? That's a pure entertainment charge.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Jason, how much is your traps? It depends on what traps.
Yeah, no
See,
price on
no
memories.
price on memories.
I know, but that's my point.
See, Lost Dude's never even been on camera. Internet gold. People would watch that video just to see Lost Dude's face. Even though we'd probably put him.
How many hours did you spend in the tree stand this year versus how many deer you killed? Well, to be fair, Tim, he took Ladessa with him just about every single time. And Ladessa, I love her to death, but she's loud, walking, and she fidgets a lot. So, anyway. So, yeah. That's why I don't buy bacon anymore. I'll tell you what, we found a good sweet spot at Sam's Club. You can get restaurant bacon. It's like 10 pounds for like $35. Just saying.
See, and Dean's right. Hogs are running off the deer.
Yeah, I think that's what we're running into. We're running into where we have way more hogs than we do deer right now. That's the only thing that seems to be a little out of balance. Everything else is square. Yeah. So, how many people for 3K? One person. Each person's 3K, I bet. I mean, if you're in a helicopter. But here, deer, they will eat the fawns. That's true, yeah. Yeah. I'd love to raise a couple pigs so I can get bacon and pork that way. The problem with that...
we got pigs for sale.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. The other thing is that you guys grow all your meat. Do you have to buy meat? Right now we do a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Chicken is out, so we have to... We didn't raise any meat chickens, so we've had to buy chicken. But we've got a lot of beef left still.
And by about the time we're going to be running out of beef, it's going to be time to take
another steer
in. And
then pork, we still have quite a bit of pork. Like, we're going to have ribs this week. Pork ribs this week, and we're going to have a rump roast from...
Well, look, we're fixing to have some mutton.
Steer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, if you know a good mutton recipe, email it to us.
Yeah.
Because we're getting rid of our merino sheep.
Yeah, our 2 sheep. It's time to just put them down.
We're gonna eat them. We're gonna shear them. Then we're gonna pop them.
Yeah. And
then we are going to lay off sheep for a little bit because we are having the goat/sheep debate here on the Big Bear Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
And
PC. I don't know what PC means. Aren't the sheep too old to eat? They're not. Well, they're not lambs. They're sheep. Yeah. So it would be considered mutton. It'd be considered mutton. Lamb. Yeah. And really, honestly, if it doesn't taste good, we have pigs for that. So, I mean, really, what it boils down to is, in the progression of the animals, you have the cows eating the tall stuff. But then the sheep, the problem with sheep is that they eat so close to the ground that a lot of times as the grass starts to grow back up, before the cows can get to it, the sheep are eating it back down again.
Mm-hmm.
So politically, we're gonna pop them. Yeah. So the thing is that we've got to take that out of the scenario. We don't have enough of them for it to be worth us shearing. So to have somebody to shear them or whatever. So we just gotta. I bought 5 pounds of beef last week for $2.75.
And he ate it all already.
No, half was ground and the other half was roast. That's really cheap. That's like $2. Yeah, like $2 a pound. That's super, super cheap. Where did you get it from, though?
He probably hit it with his truck as he was driving around delivering car parts and just tossed it in there in the back.
$2.20. Yeah, $2.20 a pound.
Because you know he can't drive. I watched him drive that golf cart around the HOA for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just let me know, Terry, and
Out of some guy's trunk. Yeah, probably.
we will
Local farmer. Yeah.
we'll try to figure out how to get some of them over to you. We're letting them go right now because of how old they are. We're letting them go at $125 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
The American guinea hogs.
Yeah. They're really good foragers. I mean, I can't say enough about that.
I want to know what, and I'm going to look hardcore tomorrow. They found a spot in that old garden that there was like 6 of them right there in that spot.
That's what I was telling y'all about before Jason came in. That we were talking about the activity of the pig. You can tell how active they are by their dirt ring on how far up their snout it goes. And that indicates how deep they're going. Well, all of these pigs, I mean, they've got at least, 4 inches of dirt up their snout. I mean,
Got
like,
some
they're
coming all the way
super.
between their eyes.
Yeah. So.
How much do they charge to process them? Well,
It depends.
yeah, that depends on where you go. You could call me up. We'd come back over to your place, pick them up, and we could process it for you for a small fee.
$169 is a decent price for pork ribs. The problem is that they're probably
They're looking for minerals.
factory pork.
That could be possible. But I honestly think that they were in the spot where we put carrots or beets or old potatoes.
A lot of root stuff that we had, yeah.
What's up, Reynolds Suburban Homestead Prepping for Survival?
I hope that's Reynolds.
That's what I said, Reynolds.
Okay. Newly renewed crime around here is cattle rustling. Yeah, we haven't had that issue yet because of the way we're set up, but Terry, maybe we'll do something where we just sell you one finished out then.
Yeah, maybe.
What all have you smoked and cured? Not yet. Haven't done it yet. We're planning on that.
We've smoked hams. We've smoked the Boston butts. Did we smoke any of the beef roasts?
We never did the pork belly. I mean, we never did the stuff that it really.
That's because that's still in the freezer.
Yeah.
But
we're getting ready to build an actual smoker to where we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna build a jammed up smoke house. I'm done playing.
Need to probably try some pork butt. Or smoke some pork butt with the rub on it. Yeah. And Doc has an old-fashioned smokehouse. Nanny nanny boo boo. We're going to use both of y'all's. So Dee sent us a marinade, and also TJ sent us a spice rub. We're going to use both of those this week in our recipes. So I'm excited about that. We'll probably talk about that. You always your
pigs like Justin Rhodes showed on his channel.
As in, use every last bit. Absolutely. Everything but the squeal.
Nope. We even use the squeal.
Well, yeah.
Justin doesn't use the squeal. We use the squeal.
Jason, what do these pigs taste like? Any different than different types, breeds of pig? Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Who asked that?
That was Seeding.
She's asking. The American guinea hog, I like the taste better. They're more marbled meat. They got a little bit more fat to them in the meat. And they taste just like a well-aged pork.
Mm-hmm.
They the fat to the marbling with the fat to meat ratio is just
There's a lot.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And now when you cut these guys up, we skin them. We don't
mess with the skin
because we don't dip them and scrape the hair off because they're a lard pig. And so it was easier for us to harvest the fat by skinning them and then just cutting the fat right off of the back of the pig. It was easier for us that way than trying to fillet it off or anything. And
are they good for bacon and chops? No, they're a sausage pig for me. If you're gonna, I take that back.
Thank you.
Taste-wise, absolutely. Size-wise, depends on what your portions look like. A pork chop's going to be like a fillet. Like the size of a filet mignon.
Because they're a smaller pig.
They're small pigs. And they're not long. So your pork belly is not going to be very long. So you're not going to get a lot of bacon out of it.
But you're going to get some tasty bacon.
But you're going to have some fat back. You have some fat. What's the other type of pigs we have? Bacon pigs. They are Hampshire and Berkshire. We used to run Yorkshires, but now we have
the American Guinea Hog.
Yeah.
Reynolds Suburban Homestead Prepping for Survival.
What breed is it? Yeah, American Guinea Hog.
Now,
wait, hold on. The taint on a male pig. 1-year-old pigs just had their sacks removed about 2 months ago. Will they still have a chance for the taint taste?
Okay, here's my 2 cents for it. And I've been home butchering my own pigs for 6-7 years now. I honestly believe that you get that taint taste when you drop them and you're not doing, and they are able to produce some adrenaline. That's where that taint taste come from. Because deer hunting, the bucks are intact. I still hunt. The deer don't even know that I'm there. They get shot. They're dead about 3 seconds after they realize that they've been shot. The way that I tend to kill my pigs is I will, for like a week, I will go up and take the slop bucket or the feed, whatever it is, and I put it in this one spot. And they'll come over, or he'll come over, and he'll bring his head down, and then I'll just take one finger and I'll put it right where I'm going to shoot, and then I'll just like kind of scratch it around a little bit. And I do this for a week. So when the time comes, I pour it down there. Now it's not my finger. It's going to be the barrel of my pistol. All right. I move it around a little bit, back it up a little bit. Pow. Boom. He drops because he thinks he's used to me doing that. He thinks it's just my finger again. So he's calm. He's relaxed. He doesn't know what he's coming. He doesn't know what's coming. Boom. No adrenaline. What?
You told me to wait.
Okay,
Are you
I'm
gonna
done.
address
Yes.
what he said?
Who?
Because we do the same thing.
What? Who?
VW Family says I go at least 3 months separating from the sows.
Yes.
That's the other thing.
Yes, that's the other thing.
He didn't mention.
Yeah.
Is that the other thing that we believe is that it's the exposure to the sows that can cause the taint as well.
Right.
So if you separate, like when we butchered the last one, we were going to butcher the male. Mm-hmm. And so we butchered the female first, and then we left the male for a while to be by himself. Then we were going to butcher him, but then we ended up trading him out for the 3 bacon pigs.
And you can tell when it's time. Okay? So, because when he's his boys
cantaloupe.
are
like
swole.
A cantaloupe. Like massive.
Then when he's been away from it from a little while,
yeah,
it's like somebody walked up and went...
Yeah, it's all shriveled up. So you can definitely tell the difference. Yeah. So those are the 2 things that, stress and then the exposure to the females are the 2 things that we think can cause it. And so that's what we do is first if we're going to process a male, we separate them from the females.
Yeah, and I do that with the bulls too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, same thing with the cow.
But I'll be honest with you, we only ate 1 bull that was intact, and that was our very first one. He wasn't around any other. He wasn't
around any other females, anything.
He was a cow virgin, and so, but beef wise, I'm assuming that it would be the same thing. Pull him away from the other ones, isolate him, so that way all of his stuff calms back down. But
I kind of disagree because, well, I mean, if that's the way we were going to do it, then yes. But it is super, super easy to... Good night, Ben. It's super easy to band a calf. So it really makes way more sense if you know you're going to raise them for meat. It's really a lot easier, and it's not expensive. The little thing
Tools
that
like
you,
$20.
Yeah, it is not much, and you invest in it once, and you're good.
And as long as your son doesn't total your truck where you got it in there, and you should only have to buy it once,
right?
And then you can get like a packet of the rubber bands. It's like $2-3.
Yeah, I mean
for a couple $100.
It's worth it to do that because if you get a young calf. It's fairly easy to do that. So
you just reach right up there, pull them down a little bit, take the pliers, shoot, feed them up in there, release it, pushes the rubber band up,
and it just basically cuts. Yeah, you can come to North Carolina and take care of a couple of bulls. They're too big now. They're a little big now. But yeah, so that's kind of
hence the reason that tool was in my truck.
With the cows, it's much more cost effective to do that. With piglets, you have to like cut and wrap. And go
with the piglets, you got to catch them, roll them over, cut the sack open, grab the 2 testes, and pull. You don't cut them. You rip them out. Yes, you do.
I know, but
You gotta rip them out until they snap and pop because you don't want an even cut. You want it. It was explained to me that you wanted the rough edges so that way it can heal faster. Then you take put the tubes back in there. Take some super glue on the sack, boop, and then spray it down with that blue spray. And turn them loose. That is a pain in the keister.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like if it's easier, and that adds stress to the piglet. And the other thing too is that if they're walking around in dirt constantly, there is a possibility that it could get infected. I mean, I know you're using the super glue and all that stuff, but there is a possibility that area could get infected. And you don't ever want to have to deal with sepsis or anything like that with an animal because once they get it, you can't use the meat if they die. Yeah. So that's the thing. A tear won't bleed like a cut does. Exactly.
Yep. So,
but yeah, you can get infections. You're putting stress on that animal,
Right.
especially when they're young.
Right. I mean, we did it one time, just to say that we know how to do it. But to be honest with you, at the age that you're supposed to do it at, mom is still totally super protective. So then you got to try to isolate the boys from the girls, get them off into an area where they're not going to be walking around in mud. Do it. They're going to be squalling and screaming.
Yeah, mom's going crazy.
And then your mom's going to be trying to bust through gates and and it's just a very huge
ordeal.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much turns into kind of like an all day thing, because if you have a normal litter from like the
bacon pigs,
the Yorkshires,
like 12.
You're talking about a litter of anywhere from 12 to 14.
Yeah. You got
and if you get
amount.
half of them are boys, and you're lucky enough you're able to split it 50-50.
That's still 6 to 7
male piglets that you gotta separate, put them out, and then
someone should open up an outpatient pig surgery unit.
And
that's where the traveling vet came about, was stuff like this, to be able to get it done before people did it on their own. So
it's to me, it's easier on us, less stress on the animal. Let him grow up, let him do his thing. Separate him when I know it's about butchering time. Just separate him. One, I'll have his bucket trained, so he's going to know what that big orange bucket is.
Right.
Like, I could go out there in the morning with those American guinea hogs with that orange bucket, and I could have a pig parade.
Yeah.
Right down Main Street.
You could walk them down the street. Yeah.
And they'd all be...
Most definitely. Yep.
And to the point to where they started getting bored, and then they'd go up and start...
Messing with people.
But
yeah, so...
And so, they'd be easier to separate then. You keep them away from all of the girls, all the other boys. And you save up on how to dispatch him that way that I talked about. And to this day I haven't had taint. And Obama, who I didn't kill, okay, he was swole because he was chasing Clinton.
But she was in heat.
And the dude come on my property while we were down being superheroes for the kids with cancer. Came on my property, lured them both out, and was able to shoot him. And when he shot him, Clinton ran off back to the house. When we traced down that meat, it had a little bit of the taint to it.
Well, but the thing is that it wasn't in all of the meat. So it was mostly in the sausage. And so what we really think it was is whatever blend he was using, it just, I think it somehow maybe accentuated the taste. So you name your pigs after living presidents? No.
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 Basically, Life with Linda, how those names came about is it was Carol Ann's turn to name the animals, because for some reason the women on this homestead feel that every animal has to have a name. And you can come on my homestead and you can walk around with my girls, and there's 30
Not all of them, but the ones that have personalities, the ones that stick out and have, like, to this day, we've had the very first Muscovy duck we got, we still have. He's the patriarch of the entire flock, and his name is Steeler. And that is because even back in the day when we used to pour 1 bucket of feed for everybody, he would bully the 800-pound bull, goats, whatever, and he would eat all the food. And so that was his thing. And we had, even now we have a Georgie and a
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
We have 31
piglets or pigs.
American guinea hogs, and I don't know their names. But Ladessa, Carol, all 31 of them. Mm-hmm. Georgie's out. Who's Georgie?
Oh, there's Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
There's socks, there's boots, there's this one,
Yeah.
and so it was Carol Ann's turn, and she was very young. And it was during the Democratic election debate thing, and we picked up 3 pigs, and all she was hearing in the news and on talk radio was Obama, Pelosi, and Clinton. Mm-hmm. And so those are the 3 names she chose.
Yep.
And so
it was female Pelosi, female Clinton, and Obama.
Yeah.
So
because we just went through a thing of pigs where it was pork chop, ham hock.
Yeah, I mean, we had all of those.
Yeah, sausage. Yeah.
Pork and beans. I mean, we had, that was a really funny one because they named a boy Pork and Beans. And I was like, that's just not even funny. And I'm like, but really, it was funny. And we have, like, our cows. We have Daisy, like a dollop of Daisy, and Calf Pal. And then Delma was actually somebody named. We did a contest or something, and Delma was the one.
Was the name. And let's see, we had Cheddar. We had Colby Jack.
Colby. We had, what were the other boys? We had, T-Bone.
Sirloin.
We had Sirloin. Yeah, he was Sirloin. We had Phil, like filet. We had we've had all of the cliche animal names, Porky, all of that. So the chickens typically don't get named because usually we have so many of them.
They're naming them.
But,
Look, they're naming lizards and...
Yeah, we had Fred living in here for a little while.
Fred, and then you stepped on Fred, and then we got another one that was Frankie. So.
But, I always hear people say, don't let your kids name them because then they won't want to eat them. And I'm like, no, I don't think you understand.
Let me tell you a story about T-Bone.
Yes, we are doing meat chickens this year. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to be doing some videos on that. We're working with Meyer Hatchery on that. We are going to be doing 300 meat birds this year.
Yep.
Now, we are not doing the broilers. We're doing what they call fry pans.
Fry pan bargain. Because they're basically like the heavier breed
the dual-purpose breed roosters.
Yeah.
That'd be your Rhode Island Reds, your Buffs, your Delawares, your Dominiques, your, what's the white one? Wyandottes.
Yeah, all the bigger, heavier breeds. So, well, we're not doing them all at once. I know it sounds like a lot, but we're going to spread them out. And the other thing is, with your broilers, they usually take anywhere from 8 to about 12 weeks, depending on the breed. Like your Freedom Rangers and stuff take a little bit longer, but like your typical broiler bird takes about 8 weeks. But these guys, because it's exactly what you say. They're called a fry pan bargain, and literally they're 35. If you buy 100 chickens, it's 35 cents a chick.
Yeah.
So we did the math, and we realized that it was more cost effective for us to raise these birds than it would be.
Now, these birds take about 4 months.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at, is they take about 4 months.
But, unlike the broilers or the Red Rangers or the Gray Rangers, they're more well-rounded. So, when one bird will give us a full breast, 2 thighs, 2 legs, 2 wings. So when you start chopping them up, or when you start processing the birds, then you
separate them out.
Separate it where we can go, okay, put these 5 thighs over here. That's a meal. Put these, 10 legs over here. That's a meal. Put these 5 or 6 breasts, that's a meal. And so then we will literally start packaging them up in meals, free or vacuum seal them, and stack them in the freezer.
So black sex links I don't think are in there because they're not as heavy of a breed.
No, they're not.
But
what?
They grow better than a black sex link. I think the ones that we're getting.
Yeah.
Red Rangers, yeah, $3. I mean, literally, like even if you get the broiler birds, I think when you get up to 100 birds, they're still $2.20 a bird.
Yeah.
And when you look at 35 cents for a not very well rounded bird.
Yeah. Cause think about it. Those, and I'm not knocking the broilers because you can make a decent living off of raising these broilers. You can.
Because a lot of people don't want.
Because, a lot of your restaurants, your farm-to-table restaurants want them. They just want the breasts. Because a lot of folks just want to eat chicken breasts. They don't want to eat the legs and the thighs. So you can make that money back and then some off of selling these birds. Mm-hmm. But we're not... We done that for a long time. Mm-hmm. And we made really good money at it. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, somewhat just went exactly.
But the way that we started looking at it as, ever since that we had the thing with the Muscovy duck, that we sold Muscovy duck meat for years and never ate one. So we're going to make sure we fill up our freezer first, and then we're going to sell our excess. And so we like more well-rounded birds. Mm-hmm. The folks around here, if we handed them a chicken and told them it was $20 for that chicken, and it was just a big chunk of breast meat, they would look at us like we were crazy. Mm-hmm. It's knowing our market. Now, in your area, the broilers might be a better market for your area.
Right.
My area, folks want more rounded birds. What about Raptor Apocalypse 2? Not going to happen. That taught us something, and I'm going to be very vague right here, because we've got something in the works that we got to keep close to the chest. And so we basically learned something, and we figured out a solution to that problem.
What is it?
What is what?
What you were saying, the solution to the problem.
To the raptors.
Yeah. Well, your thingamajigger that you can't talk about. Blame it on Tim. Tim's busting my chops.
And so that's the reason that we know our market, and we've been out doing the research, knowing what our market is, and so that's why we switched to these. So if you guys are looking into getting into your broilers and your all those other ones, go to the Meyer Hatchery.
I was gonna read off the ones. I've pulled it up. This fry pan rooster chicks, it may include one or more of the following breeds. So you have Golden Buff, Rhode Island Red, Jersey Giants, Salmon Favoralis, Speckled Sussex, Morans, Welsamers, Black Australorps, Plymouth Rocks, Orpingtons, Wyandottes, Buckeyes, or Dominiques. So, I mean, there's quite a few different heavy breeds that you can, get.
Now,
so.
Reynolds Suburban Homestead Prepping for Survival asked, what is a raptor? A raptor is your birds of prey. Your eagles, hawks, owls, ospreys, those like that. And CD answered it too. So.
Yeah. All those different kinds.
All those different kinds. Your falcons.
Yeah, and the other thing with the Raptor Apocalypse is that we have built our tractors differently now, so.
Are Leghorns good dual purpose or just fryers? No, they're neither. They are just egg layers.
If you get a male Leghorn, like if you're gonna, okay, let me get back up. If you're going to order Leghorns, we call them Leghorns here, not Leghorns. If you're gonna order those, spend the extra money and just get the females.
Yeah.
Don't go straight run. Order just pullets, because the males are not worth the energy for the amount of meat that you get off of them. They're great egg layers. The females, it's a white standard egg, and they will put out, I mean, one right after the other. They are your commercial breed chickens. If you get the eggs out of the store, that's what you're getting is Leghorns. And so, but spend the extra money to just get pullet eggs.
Yeah,
Don't get a straight run.
You're going to get flooded with white eggs. They are great egg layers.
But
the roosters are useless. They don't protect the hens at all. They're not real meaty. They're just a huge waste of time. Unless you're going to keep a flock of your own to be more sustainable and incubate some eggs and be able to produce more.
And let me say, there's one more thing to keep in. Yeah, they don't lay eggs. The other thing, too, to keep in mind is that we're basing this off of the fact that we don't pour a lot of feed to our chickens. A good portion of their diet comes from foraging. So maybe if you poured a lot of feed to a white leghorn, maybe. But they're not good foragers. They are a commercial breed chicken. So they're not really good at foraging. So that's my thing on that one. They're definitely not a dual purpose.
Okay.
Which?
Terry asked, and Robin and I do not at all
agree on this
whatsoever.
Go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
I like the Rhode Island Reds or the Buff Orpingtons.
Nope. They don't get big enough for me.
They get to a decent size. The Rhode Island Red rooster is a boss. He does his job and he gets very well rounded.
Right. But the thing is, okay, if you're looking for a good rooster to do his job and watch your girls, absolutely. Rhode Island Red is probably the best one I've ever seen. The Buff Orpingtons are mean. All of the Buff Orpington males that we have had have been mean. So I don't tend to like them. They do get heavy. But I'm not even, barred rocks are okay. But my problem with the ones that I like is they're white. And here, white birds do not do well here. I like the Delawares. And I would love to try and raise some Jersey Giants. We've never had Jersey Giants, but I'd like to try them as well. But I like the Delawares. The Delawares get super big.
They're 90% feather.
No, they're not.
They're just big, fluffy balls of feather.
No, they're not.
That just sticks out in the yard like, look at me, Mr. Red-tailed Hawk. Why don't you come get some of my 12 herbs and spices?
Yeah, I prefer the Delawares. Barred Rocks are okay. Dominiques are okay.
Or hey, Mr. Fox, shake your bum bum, shake your bum bum.
Yeah. So we disagree a little bit. In a perfect world, I would love to raise the Delawares just because they do round out and they're pretty decent.
You like them because they're pretty.
No, they're a heavy bird. We raised Jersey Giants for a couple of years. Yeah, those are the ones I want to raise as well. So, yeah. Yep. That's what I would like to do. Very heavy. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But the Rhode Island Reds and the Buffs, the hens are usually good layers. You do stand a chance, and this is also in the positive, you do stand a chance of a hen going broody. I always say if one of your hens go broody, let her. Let her go broody, let her sit on the eggs, and now you got more chickens. But sometimes you got some that will just climb up there in the nesting box, drop their little butt nugget, and go on.
Don't Rhode Island Red roosters flog people more than others?
No, Buffs are more liable to do that.
In our experience. Yeah. It may be for other people, but for us, they're just...
Yeah. And look, if you guys start going to check out Meijer, please tell them that we sent you.
I'm looking at the Jersey Giants.
So, all right, guys. Well, we've been on here over 2 hours.
Oh, real quick. Somebody reached out to me and told me that Danny from Deep South is sick. So if you guys make any kind of prayer list, he's definitely one to put on your list. This website saying roosters get to 13 pounds for the Jersey Giants. So,
yeah. But check out Meijer Hatchery. I promise you guys, order from them. Their customer service is
out of this
off
world.
The chain.
And one of the things we're learning is that they have their immunities on a lot of their parent birds are very, very good, very high. So all of the chicks that come out have that a lot of natural immunities. So that's another good plus for them as well. Yeah.
So look, you guys know, if you've been around with us for a while, you know Robin and I, and you could probably figure it out by going back and looking at some of our product reviews and some of our rants and stuff that we have.
Meijer's in Ohio too.
We don't recommend a company unless we've used them for a while. Mm-hmm. We don't recommend a product unless we've used it for a while. And when we recommend something, if we put our name on it,
Terry, I'll answer in a second.
You know, we've put it through the test. Yeah. Like Log Ox. We watched other folks use the Log Ox for a couple years because we met them at the very first Homesteaders of America conference. Mm-hmm. They sent us a Log Ox forestry tool, and we beat it up.
And it's still
rocking and rolling. We're still using it to this day. So
Meijer does have a minimum, but it's only like 3 chicks. Now that it's getting warmer, in the winter months, it's much higher. I think it's 5 or 6 or something like that. But then there are, on some things, they do have a minimum of, like turkeys, I think, have a different minimum. But I think standard for like your regular chicks, I think is like 3 at this point. Mm-hmm. I think it's warm enough now, it's 3, it may be 5 or 6, something like that. Yeah. But there is a minimum, but it's not much. And I'm sure if you go to their website, it's going to tell you. Yeah. Their website is very user-friendly. A lot of times they have a chat box where you can talk to somebody on the chat. They are very, very helpful. The other thing, too, is their chat people are not just some crazy, location off in India or China or something like that. These are people here who have been using the birds and do all of that stuff, so when you ask them a question about their birds, they'll be able to tell you because they raise them. So,
do we have a feather plucker? Yes, we do. We built one. Mm-hmm. We bought the kit off of Amazon or eBay.
I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
And we built it.
Yep.
And we love it.
Needs a stronger motor though, right?
Yeah. I'd like to beef the motor. I would like to beef the motor up, fix the pulley, and get a little bit stronger belt. And but
Yes, on some. Not all of them, Judy. It says, can you request only certain sex? On some breeds. On some of them, it'll say straight run only. Like some of them, it'll say only straight run. So it just kind of depends. If you go to their website, I promise y'all, if you go to the drop down box where it says shop, that works really, really well. It's a wonderful website. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't worry about me. You taking over all the conversation anyway.
Oh, there's nothing else. I mean, everybody's pretty much saying goodbye. So. Why are you being silly? You're all kind of discombobulated. Why is that uneven now?
I don't know.
There you go. Can you leave the link for Meyer in the show description? Isn't it in there?
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll put it in there.
Not yet.
Okay. Viking bear. Yep. There it is. He's a Viking bear.
Yep.
He's pouting. All right. Well, everybody go have a good night's sleep. Have a good rest of your weekend. When do you do processing? Do you have...
We are probably going to be offering some processing classes this year.
Mm-hmm.
So when it gets close to time, it'll be a hands-on class.
Yeah, a workshop.
So it'll be a workshop that we're going to do. We've kind of talked about it and kind of him-hawed around about it, but yeah. So
Poor man's, but no, we got a pretty good setup. So, all right. Well, y'all have an excellent evening. Hopefully, we'll see most of y'all back Monday.
don't forget to email me to reserve your spot for the blacksmithing trapping class Memorial Day weekend. Remember, the class is limited to 10 people. $150. That gets you both classes, 4 meals, and 2 bonfires here on our homestead. I hope to see you guys either in Arkansas at the Shindig, or in Missouri at the Homesteading Life Conference, or at the Homesteaders of America Conference. Mm-hmm. If not, we'll see you Monday when Robin's kicking off another series in the oils class. You gonna tell them what oil you're doing?
Nope.
Nope. She's gonna keep it a secret.
All right, y'all have a good evening.
Remember, be kind to one another. Recycle, reuse, repurpose. And we will see you guys next time.
Night, y'all.
God bless.